Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, congressional leaders meet with President Biden looking for a border deal and more aid for Ukraine and Israel. And one eastern Kentucky city has been working to revitalize its downtown area. And another new business has just opened in a place used to be known for J-Boys and hot fudge cakes.
Plus, another blast of Arctic air is looming. Those details coming up as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. It's been another frigid day out there, and now more snow is expected tomorrow night. It's still a first alert weather day, and meteorologist Cameron Aaron has more on what to expect. Cameron.
Yeah, Steve, I hope everyone was able to enjoy the sunshine on Wednesday because we see some more clouds and some more snow showers as early as tomorrow. This evening, though, we are dry. Here's a live look across the mountains from Buffalo Mountain, a nice sunset there, to I-64 in Moorhead. Also, the London Corbin Airport, you can see some more snow on the ground at this hour, but we are dry under a clear sky. Those current temperatures in the 20s down to 24 in Pikeville, 23 in Jackson, 25 in London, also in Somerset. So we are tracking some more cold weather this evening, and up on the radar is high pressure is the big story. Once again, we are dry into this evening and tonight, but again, those changes are looming as we go into tomorrow. So a first alert weather day is in place as we are tracking some more snow showers and also some more cold weather by this weekend. A winter weather advisory in place for most of us from Thursday evening through early on Saturday. So we are tracking some more accumulating snowfall, and by this weekend, possibly low temperatures close to or below zero in some areas. More details on those snow chances and also a warm up by next week coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, still plenty of closings for tomorrow. You can also find those on the WYMT News app and WYMT.com. This brutal Arctic blast is wrapping up for some across the country, but there is more to come. A new winter storm system is bringing freezing rain and treacherous road conditions right now to the Pacific Northwest. In Oregon alone, officials say at least 7 people have been killed by the winter weather. Many parts of the country are experiencing winter woes.
The roads are awful. The best thing that could happen is if people would stay home.
Well, parts of New York are set to see more significant winter weather. Up to 3 feet of snow could fall over the Cascade Mountains through tomorrow afternoon, and up to 2 feet possible in higher elevation areas in the northern parts of Washington, Idaho, and Montana. Well, White House and Senate negotiators say they are making progress on a spending bill to address border security as well as aid for Ukraine and Israel, but they need more time to complete their talks, and the federal government is set for a partial shutdown this week unless Congress acts first to keep it open. CBS's Skylar Henry has more from Capitol Hill.
Congressional leaders made the trek up Pennsylvania Avenue in the nation's capital to meet with President Biden and discuss the spending bill being debated on Capitol Hill.
Mr. Speaker, what do you expect to get out of this meeting at the end of the day? Results.
President Biden wants to combine aid for Ukraine and Israel as part of the broader spending package.
President Biden will reinforce something I've been saying all along. It's a matter of the highest national urgency that both parties keep working together to pass the supplemental.
But House Republicans remain reluctant to send more money to Kyiv.
What is the end game and the strategy in Ukraine? How will we have accountability for the funds? We need to know that Ukraine would not be another Afghanistan. But before we even talk about Ukraine, I'm going to tell the president what I'm telling all of you, and we've told the American people: border, border, border.
White House and Senate negotiators say border security is a part of the ongoing talks.
Negotiators are making headway toward the most significant border enhancements in almost 30 years.
Before Congress can tackle the big issues in the long term, they must first pass a short-term bill to avoid a federal government shutdown, which is set to begin midnight Friday night.
Will you support the CR?
No. Secure the border, we can discuss funding.
Some House Republicans say they will vote against the short-term bill, known as a continuing resolution, meaning Democrats and moderate Republicans will need to work together.
It's clear that a very substantial majority does not want to shut down the government. It's also clear that I think all of our Democratic colleagues essentially don't want to shut down the government. So I think it's very unlikely we'll shut down the government.
The Senate is planning to vote on the short-term bill Thursday. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The clerk.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says she will introduce a motion to oust Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House if he includes more funding for Ukraine as part of a bigger spending bill. For years, banks have been charging overdraft fees at what the White House calls a disproportionate rate. Now a new rule proposed by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau hopes to fix that and level the playing field for everyone, especially those that need it most. The CFPB expects the new rule could save consumers an estimated $3.5 billion or more a year. That averages out to approximately $150 per household for the 23 million households who are paying overdraft fees. These potential savings are in addition to the $3.5 billion in overdraft savings consumers are already seeing compared to 2019.
The rule would provide some common sense safeguards to make sure that overdraft loans are clearly disclosed and have reasonable limits on fees. And if this takes effect, it could save Americans billions of dollars per year.
Chopra says the next step is the public will weigh in on whether or not they will support the rule change with the goal of implementing the new regulations by 2025. It appears Americans were busy shopping at the end of last year. The Commerce Department says retail spending increased by 0.6% in December from the prior month. That is well above economists' expectations. The data was adjusted with seasonal swings, but not inflation. American shoppers could continue to drive growth in 2024, but economists expect it to be at a slower pace compared to last year. For the last several years, the city of Hazard has been working to enhance its downtown area with several new businesses opening and bringing some vacant buildings back to life. WYMT's Olivia Calfee has the story.
As City of Hazard officials continue working to bring small businesses to the area, Downtown Coordinator Bailey Richards says the growth has been apparent, and seeing vacant buildings come back to life is exciting.
One building that has been kind of long-term in the works is the Jerry's building. And we have a wonderful partner in James Logan Fields and then Stephanie Callahan that have been able to get that building back and operational.
And as of last Friday, the former Jerry's restaurant in Hazard reopened and completely transformed into the new location of Hot Mess Express Boutique. Owner Stephanie Callahan says it has been special welcoming people through the doors.
To see people come in here, like there's a lot of older people that come in here just to see the building again, because like it's been closed 20, 25 years, so it's like everybody was tickled to be able to see it open, like people that met their wives here. It was fun. It was fun to watch people just out.
As the boutique continues to grow, it's bringing folks back together inside a building they used to gather.
I love being able to see people smile and just be happy and like get out of the house. Shopping all went online, 2-3 years ago, and it's starting to slowly come back. People need interaction.
And Richard says she is excited for the growth to continue, both in Hazard and at the Hot Mess Express.
So to see people in there and like droves of people, and to see the beautiful work that the new owner, James Logan Fields, has done, and then also Stephanie has done. And there's more work to come. They're working on a lot more stuff on the outside and things like that. It's just really exciting.
Giving folks a sense of nostalgia when they shop local. In Hazard, Olivia Calfee, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, in the original Hot Mess Express location, Callahan says she is opening a men's clothing store in that building, and she hopes to have it open in February. Texas Senator Ted Cruz is endorsing former President Donald Trump. Cruz made that announcement on Fox News yesterday. Cruz said he looks forward to supporting Trump enthusiastically. Cruz pointed to Trump's win in the Iowa caucuses and called it a dominating victory. He said he does not see a path to victory for anyone but the former president. First Lady Jill Biden was in Utah yesterday. She was in Salt Lake City campaigning on behalf of her husband, President Joe Biden. She was joined by Utah's First Lady Abby Cox and U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy. Biden talked about her background as a teacher for more than 40 years. She also praised teachers for their work, especially after the pandemic. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, identity theft can happen at any time, but one study is focusing on how identity crimes can have an impact on the African American community. What you need to know so you can protect your information.
Plus, the latest on our next snow chance coming up after this break.